Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes. I was just waiting to see how long Gary would let me go listening to the music before he'd shut it down totally. That's the first time I've done that. I've gone pretty far, but not that far. Yeah, okay, so now I'll have to make that up at the end, right?
It'll be shorter now.
It's shorter at the end, gotcha. Anyway, welcome and aloha to Maui Nonprofit Notes. Now in our 10th year of broadcasting, each week we continue talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's Cabinet and Appliance Showroom located in the Waikapu Base Yard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, we're going to share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they are changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today, we're going to start off the show talking with Sonoy Ka'ahui. Close?
You are right there.
Right there. Oh,
right
my
there.
God. Oh, that's a bad omen for the show, right?
No.
Oh, if I get it right the first time around. From now on, you're just Sonoy today, okay?
Single name is fine.
Then I'm safe. She's the executive director of Women Helping Women here on Maui. And what a challenge you guys have.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been so busy. I keep telling my staff, we've been running so much over the last couple of months. I feel like 2 months equals like 2 years. I don't know if that's just the normal for everybody else, but yeah, we've been busy. Shelter life is busy, office life is busy, everything is busy.
Is it summertime? Is it heat? Is it what? More activity going on?
You get
more people with troubles?
More troubles. I mean, you talk about the heat. I mean, you got it in the upper 90s, mid to upper 90s. It's going to be, people are going to be feeling a certain type of way, but just overall we see that trend. It's kind of roller coaster, up and down, but for this year in particular, we're not sure what's going on. It's just the numbers have been staying pretty steady and pretty high. So
wow.
Yeah just to give you an idea, maybe in the month of August, actually at the end of July, we were in shelter about 40 participants, 40 survivors in shelter, and that included children as well. So quite a bit. And our bed space is only 26. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's time for some bunk beds.
Oh, we got bunk beds, we got rollerways, we got creative bedding everywhere. So every office turns into some kind of area for people to sleep. So
wow.
We try to make it available as much as possible. And not just at our shelter on Maui, but on Lanai as well. So same thing, busy.
So you think heat is a factor?
I don't know. I get angry because it's hot outside. So, I mean, domestic abuse, definitely that's a totally different level. But, yeah, I believe that, that contributes just a small fraction. But just in general, people are more aware. And so they're reporting a lot more. They're seeking help a lot quicker. So
that's
a
good thing.
Plus. Yeah, that's definitely a plus. That means we're doing our job and bringing awareness somehow. So, yeah.
Right. Interesting. I was talking to somebody in Washington State yesterday, and as I usually do, I say, hey, how's the weather up there today? Waiting for him to say, oh, well, it dropped down, it was cold last night or something, or the rain has started for the winter season and all this kind of stuff. She says, oh, it's beautiful, it's like 78 degrees and the sun is out, but she says there's just a touch of crispness in the air. Crispness, not Christmas.
Right.
Crispness. And I go, oh, I wish I was there. And she says, you're in Hawaii. Why would you wish you were here? And I said, because I just went out to lunch and the temperature gauge in my car said it was 94 degrees.
Exactly.
We don't have 94 degrees.
We haven't had that in a while. I just came back. Last week I was in Bend, Oregon. 40, 48 at night. I was messaging staff, checking up on them, and they're like, how's the weather? I was like, oh, I had to put a jacket on today. They're like, what? So, yeah, I was definitely surprised. But, coming back here, I was like, oh, it's like dry desert heat.
Yeah, it's been an unreal season.
Definitely.
We have to create a new name for this season. And I'm hearing that next year is going to be worse.
Yeah.
That's if the weathermen are right, and we know how that goes.
Yeah. Not quite as accurate as they like to think they are, but pretty close. Yeah. So, but we've been keeping track of the Mo case that's been going on lately.
Some good news in that case.
Some fantastic news. After 5 years, they finally are going to be extraditing. Um, what's his name? See, I don't even remember his
Bobby?
name because I think about his Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown. We'll call him that.
Okay.
But yeah, they are finally bringing him back, and it's actually, when I was reading up on kind of where they're at right now, is this will be the second trial where they're trying to do this case without the body, with not having a body there. I think the other one was a Japanese national that was murdered in her apartment.
That lady,
in
yeah.
Honolulu, yeah, in Waikiki. So yeah, this is big. This is monumental. The family's been working extremely hard. The daughter, Alexis, she's still pushing. I mean, of course, that any daughter would
Sure.
for their family member, their mother, their sister, anyone. So this is great news.
It is. It is very, very much so. A lot of times you think after a couple of years it is a cold case, they call them, and then it kind of goes to the bottom of the pile, and you kind of wait for somebody new to come on board who wants to make a name for themselves, maybe pulls it out and starts digging in it. But this sounds like this has been really 5 years of a combined effort between three agencies. Yeah.
Yeah, FBI, police, of course, and then of course the family members that we're still feeding information. So that's kind of the fantastic part of this whole thing, is that the family didn't lose hope, and any little bits of information they were collecting, they were passing on and doing it very discreetly, so that Bernard, I think his name is Bernard Brown, could not, didn't catch any wind of that he
Right.
could be indicted on this murder charge. So this is definitely something that we'll be watching, and we'll be at court during the trial. So we'll be all invested into that, and hopefully the public will show up as well and sort of take a stance on these kinds of murders that happen, especially with Charlie Scott,
Right.
and all of that happened. So I'm sure we'll see her family there as well in support of Alexis and their family.
Right. It just those two incidents happened so close together. I think that's what kind of got everybody in the community really riled up about this whole thing, and the fact that this was not some stranger that was out there doing these things randomly. These were close relationships that just went sour.
Absolutely. I mean, even the circumstances of everything and then how it happened, finding the purse stashed and her son being left to wait for her to be picked up. It just all kind of didn't make sense. And so I'm glad that through all of this and the prosecutor's office and everything could put everything together, put all these pieces together, and get this charge. I mean, it definitely is a relief, but this is just the beginning of
Right.
everything that's about to happen.
Right. Did they know that it was San Diego, wasn't it, or someplace?
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he there the whole time?
I
don't
suppose
know?
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he must have just been hanging out there and thought that life was okay. I know I shared with you before we started all this, is if you look at his mugshot, he has aged quite a bit.
Yeah.
Holding on to a secret or something like that is definitely, it can age a person.
I would think so. He
Yeah.
had to have been looking over his shoulder every time he turned around or did something. It just, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I really can't. I can't imagine either side of the situation, being on the side of the family, trying to get some closure to this whole thing. And of course, as you said, we don't have a body, so that's still not really closure,
Right.
because that's kind of pardon the expression, but the final piece of this.
Absolutely.
If there were a way, and maybe at some point we will get to that point.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do get the closure that they need, as well as, if they do some kind of memorial somewhere for her, that would be something to honor her memory as well. So, yeah, we will be keeping track of this, and we'll be at court, just keeping eyes on everything and forming our own opinions, and hopefully updating our Facebook on a regular basis, and we hope to do some live feeds, so I can do some live feeds from court.
Oh, cool. Really?
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, and we'll do it too, and I'm sure Akaku or someone will be doing the same thing as well.
Right.
So, yeah, they're usually hanging around in the courtroom or Maui News.
Yeah, for a case like that.
For a case like that, yeah.
Yeah, we hate to say that because we don't want that many of them, but
Right.
it's just, I guess, one of those things you just don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there
definitely.
was apparently no indication of any kinds of really serious hard feelings, or they had broken up,
Right.
was my understanding. But it didn't seem to sound like it was a very critical situation, or that there was bad blood in it.
Right. And, that's kind of one of the important things to remember about domestic abuse, right? Because we don't know what happens behind closed doors. We don't know what was said, or any kind of gaslighting, or those types of things that happen in a relationship. So even if it's not physical, there could be so many more things that contribute to abuse. And, she did leave him. They broke up, and that could have set him off on another level. So definitely, yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's so many pieces to it that I know as we've talked over the years, about the work that you folks do. There's sometimes no telltale signs, and sometimes it can go for a long time like that, and then
Right.
something happens that just breaks it.
Yeah.
One or the other has had enough,
Right.
and that's when even neighbors don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We see so much of this on Oahu.
We do.
Just because, well, there's so many more people there, but it's just like some of these neighborhoods, you just go, there?
Yeah.
That's an old community. The people have all known each other for years and years and years. It's not like new people have moved in, but to us, it just happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's definitely something that we know for sure is abuse happens across all spectrums, any race, religion, all of that. Any job. I mean, definitely we've seen some pretty notable people that come in and they seek help or counseling or something like that. So, it's we just do what we do. We try to do it the best we can, and we make sure our advocates know, and we also bring awareness out in the public. We're doing a lot for healthcare providers in terms of teaching them about DV, as well as we're doing an upcoming training for clergy. So we have a bunch of people coming into a room, and this will be my first one trying to teach clergy members. So it's gonna
Really?
be interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Basic thinking tells you that they would suspect things long before anybody else.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, but that's
who
if they're
runs to
close.
their in terms of like runs to their pastor or the reverend or someone to
Right.
seek guidance in
Yeah.
some way. But yeah, definitely, we are excited to do that training. I know I am. I'm taking my deputy director with me, so we're just gonna knock that out. Not literally, but yeah, bad choice of words. But yeah,
But appropriate.
Yeah, inappropriate. Yeah.
No, it's but you think about it, and you do. What was it the other day? Somebody was saying something about there was a funeral coming up that was being held in a church, and it's like it was a suicide situation, and you think, okay, obviously the family's religious, etc. Couldn't the church help? Well, if you don't let them know what's going on, they
Yeah.
can't. And in most people's lives today, church and religion is a Sunday morning thing.
Right. Yeah, it's true. And if they don't ask for help, but also on the other side too, if those pastors or reverends are not ready to hear that statement being said, and they don't know how to answer that, and it could throw them for a loop. Like, how do you answer that question? How do you answer someone who says that abuse is happening in my household, my husband beats me, my wife, cusses me out, or something like that? When there's that kind of thing, how do you handle that? How do you answer that? How do you address it? How do you address the whole family part of that?
Is your first response can't be?
First, what I hear a lot is that first response is usually, well, let's pray on it. So, while that is a great answer for
Right.
some, it's not the it's not the full service that you're needing, right? So
Right.
you want to address the issue, and of course acknowledge and help and refer. So you bring someone like us in there and we can help.
Right. On that note, we have to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. There you go, Gary. See, I can get in before it's over. What the heck? I'm not totally asleep sitting here. Anyway, we're talking with Sonoy from Women Helping Women, and we're talking about, well, actually, besides domestic violence, in comes the piece of suicide, which is it's. And I asked during the break, I said, is there more suicides happening? That is not proper English. Are there more suicides happening? Or are we just talking about it more?
Yeah, I definitely think we're just talking about it more. I mean, you have Suicide Prevention Week, you have all of that going on. So more people are aware that this is what's happening. And the shame is not there as much as it used to be. Of course, there's still shame.
Right.
But at least people are speaking out and they're saying something.
Right.
Yeah.
This may be totally off base, but it seems to me that at least the suicides that we know of seem to be single people.
Yes. Or people that were in relationships, they broke up, and then for whatever reason, definitely heartache and heartbreak, and then you add into that pressures from outside. Perhaps there's mental health issues, behavioral issues that contribute to that, alcohol, substance abuse problems, and it all just factors into one big thing. And then we talked about earlier is the family aspect, right? The generational stuff that happens too. So, you don't have anybody treating just the individual, you got to treat the whole family. And that's why I keep saying, is you got to take care of what's the older generation too, and educating them, because ultimately these young people that are thinking about harming themselves and perhaps attempting to end their lives, they need that guidance from their elders, from someone that's above them that can mentor them, especially for our young men. I feel like that's really difficult. And as a Native Hawaiian, it's shame to talk about that sometimes, right? We don't want to air out our family laundry, right, and our dirty laundry out for everybody to see, but it has to happen. I mean, you have to talk about these things. You have to bring them to light, because nobody's going to know.
But that's not the way it has been.
No.
The older generation, parents, grandparents, whoever, might have recognized these signs of this coming up or happening to their children or grandchildren. As you say, you don't talk about it. You just hope that they find help. But how do they find help if nobody's encouraging that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the crossroad right there, right? You can sort of give them the information, you can reach out, you can do these awareness events, you can be out there in the public, but unless there's that person in their life that's going to say, hey, let's do this together. Let's come here together. Let's learn about what they have. This sounds like something you could benefit from. That's not going to change. So it's just like that cycle of abuse. Until you get off of that wheel, that spinning wheel, nothing will change. The individual has to make that opportunity to get off that wheel. However, they need also the support in the background of that to say, I'm here. I'm here to help you. I can help you with whatever I can. But if not, let's find someone who can.
Right.
Yeah.
I may not understand what you're going through totally, but I'm here to help you.
Right.
And be with you by your side.
Yeah. Let's do this together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, we want to encourage the whole family unit to seek help. If there's abuse, definitely each individual, the parties should be doing their own separate sort of counseling, their therapy, their group settings. But, if there's a time that they would like to come back together, then definitely we want to support that as well. So we want to be sure that each party has had their time to work on issues, not so much for our victim, because they are survivors. They may have other issues, which is dealing with the PTSD and all of that. But we call them batterers, but the abuser is definitely someone we want to encourage to change behaviors and to learn how to cope with anger and those things. And we refer them to parents and children together. They are the ones that help them through that, and they do a good job of that too.
And they really can be reformed. Is that the right word?
If they want to make that change, right?
They have to want to.
Yeah, we can give them and toss them all the information we want. If they do nothing with it, there will be no change.
Right.
But definitely, if we want to see change in themselves and they want to be better as individuals, then that is the person that will succeed ultimately. It's kind of like, going through AA or something like that.
Right.
It only works if you do the work. You got to do the work. And you
Right.
have to make those changes internally in your mind, break those bad connections that you've had with your past, and do all of those things to change.
Do many of them just not see what they're doing as being that wrong
Yeah.
or that bad? I mean, is there a chance for an aha moment?
There is. However, they've grown up in situations like this. They were abused as children, or they've witnessed it. They've seen their moms, their aunties, their grandmas get abused by their partners as well. So it's a learned behavior. So they see it, and then they eventually start doing it. It's kind of like I always tease my mother, because I always say, oh, I'll never be like my mom. And slowly but surely, every year that goes by, I end up being more and more like my mother. But, it's along that lines, right? It's learned behavior. So you're going to, whatever a child experiences, normally that's the pattern that they will follow. So for us especially, we like to work with the schools and get in there early to change these behaviors, to give them options, to show them that there's a better way to have healthy relationships, And so I think that's where it's at, is you got to concentrate on these little ones. As early as elementary school, we want to be sure that they know what a healthy relationship looks like.
They can see the difference.
Absolutely.
Interesting. There's so much to enjoy about life.
Yes.
It's hard for me to understand, because I guess for the most part I see all the good things in life.
Yeah.
It's really hard for somebody to tell me and convince me that something's really bad.
Yeah.
Because I've not ever really been around it. I
Yeah.
mean, in my house, if somebody got mad at somebody, they took a walk around the block and came back and everything was fine again.
That's a good way to deal with, being angry.
Yeah, I mean,
unfortunately, I've seen the other side of that in my family, so it's very different. But yeah, it's a conscious choice, but it's also opportunity, right? So if you're given a good opportunity to make a change, that can help springboard somebody else into the right direction and to be empowered.
Right. Does knowing someone who has made that change in their life, does that help somebody else? I mean,
can.
if they recognize it and see what a difference it's made for them?
Yeah, it can. It can give them a safe person to share information with, right? So even for us, we have our 24-hour hotline, but we get calls from all over. We get them throughout the country, and this is just people reaching out to ask our opinion. They remain anonymous,
Yeah.
and they just want to talk, and we are just there to listen. So same with anybody else. I mean, if they trust someone enough to share their information, we want them to be able to go to that person. encourage that, or we encourage just remaining anonymous with us, and they can feel free to say whatever they want. There are no judgments when they call our hotline.
Interesting. You get calls from all over.
We do. We just we get calls from like Texas, New York. Definitely on our overnights, we see a lot of the mainland calls.
Oh, okay. When it's
they're like
early morning,
so
or
up, they're up already. Their sun is shining. Ours is we're still dark. So, but it's good. You know, I've taken a few calls from like Texas, some from Pennsylvania, those kinds of things.
Wow.
So on the overnight, yeah.
Interesting. So you've got not to cut you short, but we just have a couple minutes left here. You've got some events coming up.
We do. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We got a slew of events planned. It's mostly sign waving stuff going on, happening in Wailuku, Lahaina, down in Kahului, fronting the school there, UHMC. But most importantly, in October 16th, we have a candlelight vigil that's going to be happening up by the county building. So right across at Kahumanu Church, there's that big grassy lawn. So we'll be there. Mahina Martin will be there too. We're hoping to get the chief of police there as well. And we're going to do our silent candle vigil.
That's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday.
Okay.
That's a Wednesday, and it's going to start at 6 o'clock p.m. You don't have to bring anything. Just come, listen, support, listen about how many of the survivor victims that there have been over the years of domestic violence here in Hawaii alone. And so that's kind of our biggest thing. We're doing the Women's Office on Aging County Fair, and that's going to be on the 19th, which is a Saturday, and that's going to be at Kahumanu Shopping Center.
Okay.
But yeah, and then next year, fast forward, March 8th, 2020, we're having our annual gala. It's going to be at the King Kamehameha Golf Course, and we got a big headliner.
Yeah, who we got? Can we say?
Amy Hanaiali'i.
Wow.
She's going to be our main entertainer. We have Chisa again from the radio station. She's going to be our MC. So we're looking at dinner, silent auction, live auction, and lots of goodies, lots of things. This one's called Wahine Alakai, and that is women leaders then and now. So it's going to be fun.
Interesting.
Can't wait.
Yeah, very good. March. Oh, that'll be here too fast.
Yeah, we'll blink and it'll be right there.
Well, congratulations on progress on Mo's case, and we look forward to hearing some of the information that comes out as the trial gets going.
Thank you.
And hopefully you can get the books closed on this one.
Yes.
If it's right.
Yes.
It's one of those things we don't know.
Yeah.
At this point, just where it's going to go, but sounds like there's some positive steps happening.
Yeah, we will be there in the front with the family.
And our thoughts are with the family, as always, yes. And so we appreciate the input and all the other things that are going on. Suicide is one nasty thing, but we've had Danielle Bergen on from Mental Health and several other people who've talked about it, and I guess the thing is just the signs.
Right.
If everybody gets familiar with the signs and they find some of their friends or one of their friends or family members kind of changing personalities, changing things about their life, ask the question.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
and ask our close family and friends about that.
And that was the hardest thing for me to understand, that saying, "Are you considering suicide?"
Yeah,
that
there's
I'm
no
not
good way to ask that.
encouraging them that. It's not. You just got to ask.
Yeah.
And get it out there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sonoy.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
I'll see you across the street.
There you go. Okay. Shifting gears, we're going to talk about the Pacific Cancer Foundation and all their events. And Nancy LaJoy is here, who's the executive director of that organization. And I don't know why you don't schedule a couple of things between now and the end of the year. I mean, it seems like you're slacking off.
You got to fill the calendar. You just got to fill it. Why have an empty day on there?
Whoa.
You get into trouble if you got nothing to do. Susie.
I remember, how long have you been there now?
5 years.
I remember probably back when you started, we were talking about things, and you had like 4 events. And I'm sitting here going, wow, that's pretty cool. And then, I mean, now you've got 4 events in 3 months.
Or more.
Or more. You're right. You're right.
But you know what? We really appreciate our community partners, and a lot of these events they make happen for us, and so that's really big. You know, because we certainly couldn't do it all.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
it takes everybody in the community to help out.
Yeah.
And we're really lucky like that.
Well, it's, cancer is something that hits every family. Sometimes 2-3 times.
Every family, every workplace,
True.
every neighborhood, every school, everywhere.
It's that one thing is constant. And every time I think about some of the things you do, I keep going back to your shoot. Now I've lost it. What's she called? The one that directs.
Our nutritionist.
No. No
wait.
No.
I know you love Sally.
Oh yeah, I
so
love Sally.
That's what
but
came to my mind. Like, go ahead.
I love
What are you
Sally, but I'm
thinking?
not into her foods. Hello.
I almost brought you some
No,
kale,
your
but-
navigator.
Oh, our navigators are amazing.
I can't say enough about what they do. Because as one who has survived cancer, I think back to that time. I had no idea what was happening, what to do, where to go, when something might happen in the whole situation. And it was just like, I was stumbling down this road. And what the doctor said is what I did.
And, I was actually thinking about this on my ride in this morning. People who are like a type A personality, they like to have everything in order and their life is very organized. And something like this can really throw someone for a loop. And you don't even have to be a type A personality to be thrown for a loop
Right.
with cancer.
Right.
But how it just really upends your normal life and your day-to-day and things that you plan on doing that you can't do right now.
Right,
And,
yeah.
It's tricky.
Yeah, and back when I had it, it was like, that was almost the time period where it was a death sentence. People
Right.
would say, "Oh, I just was diagnosed with cancer." Next thing you know, you're reading their obituary.
That's right.
And I think, oh my gosh, thank you for getting me through that period to today, where there are so many. I mean, it's optimistic when you say, "I have cancer." Okay, now there's some optimism there because there are so many survivors, and there's so many different approaches to being a survivor. It's not one size fits all.
Right. And there's a lot with survivorship that comes along because, like you said, long ago, people were not living as long as they are now. And so there's a whole new way that people have to deal with their survivorship. How do they go back to work? What does that look like? What does their friend group look like? What is their things they do for fun and to take care of themselves looks like? A lot of that changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. And a lot of that is just within you.
Right.
Because
People
you're
make
still
conscious
trying
decisions,
to,
right.
you're still trying to figure out, am I still Susie?
Right. Or what kind of Susie am I?
Yeah, will people still
What does the
accept
new
me as
Susie?
Susie?
What does the new Susie look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, did it change my thinking about things? Yeah, I think it did. I mean, I wouldn't be in Maui if I hadn't had it.
And it's really interesting, but there are a lot of survivors, and you'll hear them say, there's something good that came out of this.
Mm-hmm.
I changed my life for the better, or I eat better, or I exercise, or I'm really more conscious of my stress level. I take better care of myself now. I think differently about things. My
Right.
values system has changed a little bit, and it's very interesting to talk to people and
Yeah.
hear their stories.
Before I had cancer, I never even wanted to come to Hawaii on vacation. After my cancer, I came here and lived.
Now you're living here.
I've been here 40 years,
Look at that.
and I keep thinking, that was a pivotal moment.
I'm here because I lost my father to cancer, and he died at 42.
There you
And
go.
I told
Wow.
my husband at 42, I got to go do something big. Like, something's got to change. And I didn't know I'd live here forever after that. But, that was
Right.
the year I moved here because
Yeah.
I thought, who knows?
Interesting.
So,
Yeah, 42 is young. It's like my sister was about 40 when she died. Yeah.
but I feel very fortunate to be part of this organization. And we have a great team of people now that work at the hospital and work in our admin offices at the Cameron Center. We have 2 patient navigators now. One of whom, they're both amazing, but one of whom was involved with the Guam Cancer Center and is headed there tomorrow to receive a big award from them. So that's pretty cool. She's an amazing navigator, as they both are, Sherry and Christina. We have our nutritionist who loves kale, and Sally, who's
She
great.
has to keep rubbing that in, doesn't she? One of these days I'm going to eat some of that stuff.
We also just hired, we have our care coordinator, Chablis, who's been with us for a while. She was a community health worker from the hospital, or from the college, and we just hired a social worker who's going to help with our new Keiki program that we started this past year, too, for kids and families with cancer. So that was a really great addition to our organization, too.
So you're not just expanding all these activities, you're expanding programs.
Programs, growing, and helping more and more people.
Is that because we're seeing more and more cancer?
I think that people are becoming more aware of our organization and coming and being exposed to more resources. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just wanting, if nothing else, wanting to know what if.
Right. And we work with a lot more survivors.
Yeah.
And we're able to help more of our kids who usually leave off, who always actually go off island for treatment. So we're connecting more with those families as
Gotcha.
well.
We have to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Great.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit executive directors to find out what's happening in their worlds. And each of our agencies kind of have a world that they're working in. And how many more ways can I say that? That was twice. Okay, I won't say it again. The point being that, the first half of the show we talked with Sonoy from Women Helping Women about what happens with domestic abuse, and we ended up talking about suicide a bit because that's become a part of that whole picture if you look at the whole situation. And then now in the second half of the show, we're talking with Nancy LaJoy, who's the executive director of the Pacific Cancer Foundation. These events that you have, I mean, it's like there's something for everybody.
There is something for everybody. And like I said, some of the events are, run through our office, and a lot of them come through community members who decide to do something to help us out, which we really appreciate. From the police department this year are wearing pink badges for the month of October, which is really great. And we're excited always to work with the police. We have Debbie, who does our Touchdown for Tatas. That's a beneficiary event. She manages the whole thing over there on the west side at the Beach House and Dolly's Pub. Four Seasons does the Day of Hope run for us. So we work with a lot of other organizations. Street Bikers United is doing a haunted house with Nalu's and a Zeka shopping center to help us out with our kids programming.
Oh, that was a big one last year.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Really, really fun. Really fun.
Well,
and then, our Paddle for Life and all those paddlers pitching in to help us out. And right now we're up to $125,000 for that event, which T-minus 17 on our Paddle for Life, and our goal's $250. So we're almost there. We reached it last year, and we're working hard to reach it again this year.
Gosh, so now let's tell the folks a little bit about the Paddle for Life. That's a weekend thing.
It's a weekend event. So we have 25 teams of paddlers who paddle in Hawaiian canoes, outrigger canoes, and there's usually probably about 15 people on a team, and they all take turns paddling from here to Lanai, and all those boats travel together. And they're adorned with pictures of people who they're paddling in honor or memory of, as well as flowers and tea leaves. And it's really a beautiful thing to watch all those boats leave Lahaina and then land over in Manele Bay over there. And all those folks are out helping raise money for us. It's kind of like a walkathon, right?
Yeah.
Where it's a
In a boat.
paddle-a-thon.
Yeah.
So, but it's also a show of that you can't have cancer alone, and that you need your whole ohana to help support you along the
Right.
way. You know, we all travel together. We all do this together to support each other.
So it's not just survivors, but it's family, friends.
Families, friends.
Everybody joins in on this.
Everybody joins
All
in.
ages?
All ages, from 5 years old to 90 years old.
Oh, my
you know, and
gosh.
everyone in between, you know, so it's great.
And so you go over there on Saturday.
We go over on Saturday. We leave Canoe Beach over in Lahaina, and we depart at 7 a.m. And I would welcome anyone just to come see that launch, because our blessing is beautiful with Kimokeo. Does Hawaiian protocol throughout. We land in Manele Bay about 11 for another protocol over there. And we have lunch. We spend the day in Lanai. Nalu's prepares an amazing dinner for us over there. His whole crew comes and paddles
Oh my
and
gosh.
cooks for 300 people over there, which is amazing.
Wow.
And then the next morning we paddle back. So
Oh.
yeah, it's beautiful, absolutely
Unreal.
beautiful.
And that's when?
That is October 12th and 13th.
That's coming up.
That's coming up. T-minus
17, that's what you said, yeah.
And so our donations are coming in every day, and that thermometer's going up and up and up.
But now you're full as far as teams are concerned.
We're full as far as teams are concerned, yes.
They have to furnish their own boat.
All the canoe clubs participate, so they all help us with the canoes,
Oh,
and
okay.
then each team is responsible for their own escort boat.
Okay.
And then we have safety boats and medics that come with us, and it's a pretty big production.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, but it's super fun.
Do you film this?
We do, actually. The folks over at, different people have done it throughout the years. Last year, Maui Now helped us out. And I think they'll help us out again. They have a team that goes. The Weston has a team that goes. There's a lot of organizations that sponsor teams. Tito's Vodka sponsors a team. Nalu sponsors a team. So there's lots of
Is there
team
somewhere,
participation.
someplace somebody can go to see it? the videos?
Yes, they'll all be posted on our website and on Maui Now as well. on
Okay.
there
After the event.
After the event.
Okay.
exactly.
And then you take them down.
They're
not there
usually
all around?
always living on our website.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, cool. I need to spend more time on your website.
yeah. Go check it out, PacificCancerFoundation.org.
I got you. Very good. Nothing tricky about your
Because there's lots
website.
of fun things going on there. This weekend is Oktoberfest at the Westin in Kaanapali, and that'll be really fun from 2 to 6 p.m. So we're looking forward to that event. That kind of is going to kick off our fundraising season.
Is that their event that they put on for
They
you?
do that for us.
It's
yeah.
the third annual, so
It's
they must
the third
enjoy it.
annual. Yeah, those guys are great. And then they'll come and paddle with us and paddle for life, too.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's really great.
That's a good team building exercise, I would
It's
think.
a wonderful team building exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, really great, because they train all summer, a couple times a week. And, when you're in a boat and you have to practice flipping that boat just in case, and you have to know the safety
Okay,
things.
let's
and-
explain that to people. When she says flipping that boat, that's
Well,
not
you
what
have-
you're
it's,
really thinking.
It's for safety, So there's a lot of training that goes involved, and these people work really hard, and they work really hard to raise money. And
Isn't
they-
flipping the boat flipping the paddlers?
Yeah,
Not the boat.
No, well, the canoe goes upside down.
Oh,
and
does it?
paddlers have to swim sometimes.
Oh,
you know,
yeah?
So they have to know how to do that in case something happens.
Ah.
You know.
It flips over and then it comes back up with different paddlers?
Well,
No, not quite.
not quite.
They have to climb in.
They have to bail it out and climb back in.
It sounds like
If Kimokeo could figure out how to pull that one off, he probably would.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, let's challenge him. Challenge him to figure out the logistics of doing
He's
that.
actually over in Japan right now.
Oh,
or I
is
would
he?
have brought him with me. He's over there paddling with a canoe club over there.
he's just-
yeah,
he's
and they're
always on the
raising
go.
money for us over in Japan right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's
so
wonderful.
That's really cool.
He's just an incredible gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah, really great.
I hear his name and I think, what the heck's he doing that? What's he get into that? I don't know how he has time for all this.
I don't know how he keeps that schedule great. He has an amazing wife.
Yeah, there you go. That helps.
Yeah.
That's
So
what-
after we get through paddle, and then we have our haunted house over in Kihei. Right after that, Day of Hope run, 5K, 10K family fun run over in Wailea on November 2nd. So that's coming up, and then our big gala,
Gosh.
which the invitations will be going out in the mail today. There's all kinds of volunteers in my office right now stuffing those envelopes as we speak.
And that's coming up, what, the week before Thanksgiving or something like
Yes,
that?
that's
yeah?
November 23rd at the Yokouchi Estate.
Wow. Is that, you always have it there?
We always have it there.
I thought that sounded familiar.
Pundi
Yeah.
was one of the original board members at
Oh, he
the
was.
Pacific Cancer Foundation.
That was another terrific gentleman.
Yep.
Boy, I tell you, they don't make them like that
No,
anymore.
they don't.
I suppose they
don't.
do, but we just don't hear that much about them because it's a little different social setting these days,
Yep.
or climate, whatever you want to call it.
But, at the same time, doing the nonprofit radio show, there's all these great people that are involved on all these boards that, kind of do a lot of big work behind the scenes that we don't all know about in the community.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you got to give all the board members 3 cheers, right?
Well, I tell you, none of us would be here without them.
That's right. They're the behind the scenes people who do good work too.
Right.
know.
And they know how to nudge us executive directors in the right direction.
That's right.
Yeah, let's do it. No, that's not worth the time and effort. Let's do something else instead. Okay, let's do it. Let's check it out. No, boards, I keep, and I'm sure you're on the same kind of a mailing list on your email where you get all these things about training your board and turning an okay board into a special board, or fantastic board members, or out in the community kind of board members. And I keep looking at that going, but so many of these board members are on several boards. How much more time can they put into it?
I know. It's tricky.
You know?
It's tricky. I'm really lucky. I feel like I have a great board. I have board members that'll come out and get in a canoe and paddle. I have board members who'll volunteer at the Day of Hope run and help with the gala, a whole committee of them on the gala. So they are really hands-on and get involved in helping out with a lot of our events.
That's cool.
Yeah, we got to have everybody to make it happen because we're running.
And I would make the assumption, and I could be totally wrong, that they're on that board because of some relationship to a cancer victim.
Sometimes, yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes
There's-
it's themselves. Sometimes it's someone close to them. We have people in the medical community, attorney, accountant.
Right.
It takes
Yeah.
everybody to.
We all have to have our accountant and our
Yeah,
attorney and
yeah.
our banker and our whatever on our boards.
Yep. But sometimes they have a special relationship with cancer
Besides,
or
yeah.
someone related.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I just, I marvel at all the stuff I'm not a weekend kind of person. When Friday night hits, I'm kind of shot. It's, maybe it's my age. I don't know. But I used to work, 80 hours a week like everybody else. And then I just kind of said, you know what? I think it's time to kind of pull back a little bit. And it really takes something to get me out on a Saturday or Sunday to go do something. And that's when all your events are.
You have lots of opportunities to step out of your comfort
I
zone.
know.
So there you go. Pick one. Anything. From drinking beer to running a race and everything in between. Paddling, galas, you name it.
Yeah, and sit in
Halloween.
sit in this chair, and every week I'm being told, come to this event, come do that, do this, we're doing that.
Well, it's
And I
all
think,
for a good cause.
Actually, it is. Everybody's got a good cause. Everybody's doing great work. I mean, I can't think of anywhere that I've ever seen more nonprofits doing more things for their community in so many different ways.
Yeah, we're really lucky on Maui. And we're really lucky because we have a lot of people who contribute and help make it happen.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's wonderful to see, and it's people like you who bring the best out in everybody. Whether it's the chief of police or the fire chief or the attorney down the street.
Yeah. Or my kids.
Or your kids.
I don't know.
You bring out the best in them, do
I
you?
try.
Hey, I'm glad to hear that.
No, but you know what? I'm really lucky because it's all about my staff. I have an amazing staff of people at the hospital, my admin team, and everybody really pitches in. We're lucky that we have a great group of volunteers, as well as our board members that come and help us, pull all this stuff off, because all the money raised here stays here, and that's important for us.
It is.
You know.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of need in our community, and it's not only the island of Maui; it's the county.
Right.
So Molokai, Lanai,
Everybody benefits.
trying to take care of them all.
Yeah. Well, you're the magician that makes it all come together.
I try.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm glad I know you.
Thanks. I'm glad I know you. Thanks for having me on your show.
Hey, thanks for being here, and good luck these next 3 months. Actually, it's only 2 months, October, November.
It's going to be quick.
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
it
be
is.
at the first of the year before we know it.
I know. So it's great to see it. I hope the weather holds for you, and most of the time it does.
I do too. And, people can definitely look at our website, PacificCancerFoundation.org, see all the activities we have. Give us $11 for our 11th year of paddle. Make a donation. That would be awesome.
The magic of 11.
The magic 11.
Cool. Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks, Susie. Have a
Okay.
great day.
You too.
Bye.
Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Please give them a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Bayshard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Pacific Source has been our sponsor from day one, and we want to thank them for their ongoing support. And to you, our listeners, we thank you for the response our agencies get from you regarding the activities talked about on this program. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org for a list of agencies that are members of the organization. If you see one there you'd like to find out more about, just click on their name and it'll take you to their website and you can learn more about them, and then follow it up with a phone call or an email and say, hey, I want to help out. What can I do? Today we visited with the folks from Women Helping Women and the Pacific Cancer Foundation and got an update on what their agencies are doing. If you've heard anything today that makes you want to get involved, please check their websites or give them a call. We want to thank you all for... Am I done?
No.
No?
In over a minute.
I started too early. I'm so used to going right down to the wire. It's like, wait, I'm reading the whole thing. I can't believe this. Nancy's fault.
I got more to say.
Okay. Okay. See, and then he starts the music. That's what he does to me. It's like, well, just go ahead. Just go ahead.
I thought
Talk
you were
about
cutting
it.
me off early now. Come on.
I know. Yeah. What else is there to say? We'll come back and we'll do it again.
Okay,
We'll save some more next time. Bring what's her name with you?
Miss Kale.
Miss Kale.
Okay,
Yeah.
will do.
That's her name. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, and don't forget to join us again next week right here on Wednesday at noon when we'll talk about what's happening with 2 other members of our organization. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha.